Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections, Peter Obi, says out of the approximately 580 days of President Bola Tinubu has been in the office as of December 29, 2024, the president spent over 30% or about 180 days abroad, covering over 30 publicly recorded overseas trips. Obi said this at a media chat on Thursday in Abuja on the state of the nation, adding that Nigeria needed selfless and exemplary leadership in 2025. AT reports that President Tinubu was sworn in on May 29, 2023 and has spent 584 days in office as of January 2, 2025. Our correspondent also reports that while President Tinubu has not traveled out of the country this year as he's currently on public holiday in Lagos State, the president in 2023 and 2024 visited not less than 16 countries, including some he visited more than once. President Tinubu's government spent 2.3 billion naira on foreign trips and related expenses within 6 months in 2024, according to data from GovSpend, a portal documenting the presidential villa expenditure. Mr. President, out of the approximately 580 days as of December 29, 2024, you have been in office. It is reported that you have spent over 30% or around 180 days on more than 30 publicly recorded overseas trips. My appeal to you is that you dedicate at least 20% of 2025, roughly 72 days, to visit each of Nigeria's 36 states for 2 days each, Obi said. What do you make of this story?
I completely disagree with
Peter Obi.
Peter Obi.
Okay.
Because the travel of Mr. President is all about collaborations with foreign countries, mostly in the South African regions that he has traveled to. Most of African countries. It's all about business. Travel to China is about negotiating business that will enhance the economy of our country. Coming to all the states, what are you coming to do in the states? Is it coming to River State will add value to River State? Is it coming to spend 2 days in Abia State will in any way increase the economy of Abia State? No. We believe that the foreign travel, the foreign trip he has embarked on are all about collaborating with foreigners, how to do business in our communities, how to do is ensuring that informing people that look, Nigeria is safer for business. You can come and invest into our economy. Our economy is increasing. We can do this, we can do that. These are what we want. Sitting down in Abuja, entertaining foreigners or entertaining cronies of his office or political leaders in the name of governance, just sitting down in Aso Rock. And people from the east and west will be visiting Mr. President, going back with bag of money, income of course visit. What value does that have to do with Nigeria? So the trips, what I was expecting Mr. Peter Obi to say, why can't the president inform us the benefit of these trips he has embarked on all these days? Can we know the aim and objective of why you are going? Because it is not a private visit. It's going there with our own money. It's going there on our taxpayers' money as a people. So we ought to know what benefit visiting social country have to do with Nigerians, but not to criticize the days he's staying in office. Is he not traveling? Is Mr. Peter Obi sitting down in Nigeria all the days he's concluded the 2023 election? No. He has traveled out. What is he going to do there? Business as well. So he is a businessman, and he should know that if Mr. President is thinking about business, what can't you support him? And if there are countries that want collaboration with Nigeria, suggest to the president, now look, while visiting China, why not visit London? Why not visit this to attract this developmental country? So I don't see anything wrong with Mr. President traveling for business trips.
Now, this is a situation where over 2.6 billion naira has been spent in a space of 6 months on foreign travels. And this is expenditure from a country that is groaning from economic degradation. Like, our economy is at the brink of collapse. In fact, if I may borrow Akpabio's statement, Akpabio said that President Tinubu met a country that was on, did he say it was on life support or something? So now, that's a reflection of what our economy is like right now. And you think that the president spending as much as 2.6 billion naira within 6 months on these travels has positive impact to Nigeria and Nigerian economy?
Sitting down in Aso Rock, like our leader Peter Obi visiting the president, entertaining him, hosting him and other political leaders, can you compare to the national trips, foreign trips that will bring investors to Nigeria?
Now, the thing is foreign trips going to bring investors to Nigeria, or is it making Nigeria investor friendly? Which of them actually will? Because the thing is, even before investors will come, they will do their due diligence. They will do their due diligence on whether Nigeria is investor friendly, on the fiscal policies of Nigeria. They will do their due diligence on Nigeria's budget. They will also do due diligence on what the security is like. Now, with the presidents traveling, like you have said, to these foreign countries in order to secure international collaborations and all of that, you still agree with me that while he's busy doing that, foreign investors are leaving the country.
Of course.
Foreign investors are relocating their businesses to other countries. Yes. Foreign investors are selling off their properties, selling off their stocks, and they are closing down business in Nigeria. So how are you investing? How are you trying to bring in international community, bring in more investors when you cannot even secure the ones you have on ground?
You know that there are so many bilateral agreements signed with some of these foreign countries that also motivate the citizens of that country that, look, our government is in collaborations, because these investors, some of them are independent. They are individual companies that are not controlled by those government of those states that you have visited to. But when you are sure yourself that, look, I'm coming here because I have my security here, okay? It does not affect my community as a people. But my community people see me here, it gives them the face to do business here. Because they know that their traditional rulers used to come to this studio and have an agreement with you people. They believe coming to do business here, we can bargain and we reduce costs. It will reduce costs. If you are selling something like 10,000 naira for a thing, because of our relationship, because of your relationship, we are giving you for 8,000 naira, and we use a discount of 2,000 naira. So coming into the economic benefit of that, when the people of that particular country see that their president, their government have a bilateral agreement with Nigeria, with a particular country, it motivates them to go into further investigation whether their business can strive in this country. It is not when President Tinubu comes into office that companies start leaving Nigeria. Companies have been leaving Nigeria due to a lot of factors, due to the economic factor, the political factors, due to the insecurity in some areas where they operate, due to some things, some unnecessary taxations, multiple taxations on this country.
Doesn't that still point down, or doesn't that still boil down to the president actually sitting back in Nigeria and confront issues head on? And when he confronts issues head on, handle this crisis and these issues that are already driving away foreign investors who have invested in the country. When these issues are confronted, do you think it will be now necessary for the president at this point to start visiting other countries? Countries will naturally want to come to Nigeria to do business with Nigeria, because Nigeria, not only do we have an amazing weather, Nigeria as a country does not suffer, natural disasters that might affect businesses and incur into a lot of loss. Nigeria has very welcoming people. Nigeria celebrates foreigners, so to speak. Now, to a large extent, is it not, if the president gets it right, handles these indices that you mentioned, that's actually pushing away investors, don't you think at this point he doesn't even need to start visiting these people when our economy is stable and back to its former glory, don't you think investors naturally will be coming to Nigeria? Investors will seek the face of the president and not president going out to seek the faces of these foreign countries in the first instance. Recall that there was a time Nigerian economy, in fact Nigerian naira was even at par with dollar.
Yes.
And at that time, where the president or the commander-in-chief of the country at that time visiting other countries were coming seeking the face of Nigeria. They wanted to be in good books of Nigeria. They were seeking the favor of Nigeria. They were the ones coming. Now, is it the same? And this is a situation where the president is always visiting, spending money that ordinarily would be channeled into other things. And they say he wants to attract foreign investors when the ones that are here already, we cannot even sustain them.
Like a media chart of Mr. President, he talks about, he has ministers, and these ministers has portfolios, and they perform. Okay? Now, these are so responsibilities of each of these ministers to perform. We have the Minister of Foreign Affairs, we have the ministers of blue economy, okay? We have different ministers with different portfolio and responsibilities to perform, but all boil down to their advice to the president. So for the president leading the country doesn't mean that those ministers are not functionals. They are all functional. He mentioned that he's not going to fire any person until he finds that you are not performing.
He mentioned that.
Yes.
Now, the thing is, the president is saying the ministers are working.
Yes.
And Nigerians saying the ministers are working. Now, the president, on the other hand, like Nigerians have said, a lot of Nigerians are of the opinion that the president is not even listening. He's not even listening. And some people are of the opinion that he's not even aware. It appears like he's not even aware of what is going on. When the president comes out to say the ministers are working, are Nigerians holding the same sentiments?
Do you know that, as I speak to you, the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Petroleum for States, okay, mostly the Minister of Agriculture are hardly seeing visiting state commissioners of agriculture, or they are having seminars. Let the governor, the president is talking about the governor should go home and prioritize agriculture. The Minister of Agriculture should have been the one piloting these affairs. So the ministers are not working, not all of them that are working. The ones that are working, we are also seeing it, because when we all talked about governance, you look at different heads, look at different people that the president appointed into office. Are they also performing? The way they perform is not also reflecting in the lives of Nigerians. That is a fact. That what they are doing, did it reflect, did it reduce anything? As if we are talking about the livestock ministry that was recently created by Mr. President. What are the functions of livestock ministry when we already have a Ministry of Agriculture that encompass all this? Multiplications of ministry. Also, we were talking about reduced cost of governance. This are area I was thinking Mr. Peter Obi should also look at and advise.
Mr. Peter Obi spoke about a lot of things.
Okay.
But we are picking out a segment of what he said, which is the constant traveling of Mr. Peter Obi.
He's saying that it's waste resources.
He says it's wasteful.
Yes.
Considering that, one would say that Nigerians have not seen positive results. In fact, what we have seen so far right now is a scandal that has emanated from one of these visits, the visit to France, and then after that, Niger Republic is coming out to accuse Nigeria of, collaborating with collaborating with France to host terrorist base in one of the northern states.
Yes.
And now Nigeria is at a denial. Probably if that visit was never made. We understand. Now, I understand what you're saying with respect to the president visiting these countries in order to foster a positive working relationship, in order to, engender collaborations that are positive and translate to growth in Nigeria, sustainable growth and development. But at the end of the day, now, let me ask you, His Royal Chief, can you tell me of all these visits, genuinely in 2024, the one that you can say have yielded positive results?
You know, building relationship takes times, and bringing investors takes times. Okay, because we believe, like what I've said so far, we believe that when we don't have a consistency in governance, it affects the people.
If you're an investor,
yes.
If you're an investor with the PR Nigeria has, you know, before the international community, with Nigerians' kind of PR, would you invest in Nigeria?
You know, every business person look at the profit margin before coming. If you look at the crisis area in the north, people are still investing. If you look at some of the NGOs that are coming into those most crisis areas in some part of this country, you see people coming in to invest.
You call them NGOs, yes?
Yes, NGOs.
All right.
Most of the NGOs are also coming in.
They are NGOs.
Yes, they are NGOs.
Some of them are targeted to address issues in these crisis-laden areas.
Yes.
So they are NGOs. I'm talking of core businesses that can employ thousands and thousands. I mean, meaningful employment of thousands and thousands of Nigerians. Businesses that will come in and have impact in Nigeria. But instead of attracting these things, what we are seeing is that businesses are leaving. They are leaving the country. And that's why I'm asking you that with the kind of PR, that is the kind of public relations, the kind of image Nigeria has before the international community, if you are an investor, considering the fiscal policies, considering the taxation system, considering a whole lot of things, down to security, down to insecurity, down to a lot of indices, would you invest in Nigeria?
Do you know that, I will answer that question. Do you know that most of the essence of why President is traveling, also looking at the economic policies of each of these countries, the best approach to solve issues, and that why is investors leaving Nigeria to other countries? Don't you think it's also part of what is going there to study, and also going there to see?
And don't you think that will stop foreign investors from coming in? Because they are seeing, some of these investors, like I said, they are foreign investors.
Yes.
So now they are also doing their due diligence on why so and so strong investment is leaving the country and moving. Some investments have even moved to South Africa. Some investments have moved to as close as Ghana.
Even Niger.
Yes. And Nigeria is losing out.
That is why we need leaders.
Nigeria is losing out. The fact that the Niger Republic even is the audaciousness to even start pointing fingers. Do you know that prior to this time, the level of glory and PR Nigeria had before the international community, countries like Niger cannot point a finger at Nigeria.
Of course.
But now that is what is happening.
Of course.
Isn't that what is happening? Isn't that what is happening? Now, let's even look at countries like Niger Republic and all that. Now, these countries, do you see their government? I will use Niger as an example, even though, you know, they are not running a democratic system. But to a large extent, they have this mentality that we are fighting neo-colonialism. And to a large, they have even told France, for example, to move away, both with them and now they are focusing inwards. They are building their system from inwards without seeking, you know, foreign help. And if you're going through the reports from Niger, you realize that these countries are beginning to develop now. Nobody says it's going to be easy, but they are making strides. As against Nigeria, that has greater resources than these smaller, way smaller countries. And what our leaders do, anybody that takes over the seat, is to be traveling up and down. Meanwhile, whatever is biting us is still eating us inwards. And now the ministers you said the president has ministers that you have also said they are not even doing.
No. We will not apportion all the blames like the president have said so far. When it is time to criticize the president on frequent traveling that is not giving any meaningful results to Nigerians and what we are doing, I think also we should also look at our governors. Because we don't centralize governance, we decentralize.
But the discussion right now is on the
president, like I said, that
the action of the
president have said that the trips he has embarked on is for the good of Nigerians.
Nigerians feel otherwise.
Yes, and then if you are saying that stop traveling in 2025, sit in Aso Rock and strategize the best way to govern this country, it's not a bad idea. For me, it's not a bad idea, but also traveling of the president to countries to bring investors and all that, and signing foreign understanding and collaborations, you know, public relations and all that. Like we say, they always blame the former government. That, oh, they were not doing well. But they were still the same APC. The same APC that Buhari was also the president, Mr. President today was also the leader of that party. So why blaming this? You are blaming yourself. And that's why we are talking about consistencies in governance.
Right.
And when we don't have that, everybody wants to make a policy. Because if former President Tinubu and Buhari have visited France, for instance, and have a bilateral agreement with them, what is the essence of this current president going there again? When that agreement, they have like 10 years agreement that we are going to be doing business in a couple of years, and it's still running. Why going there when it has not expired? That, okay, we are going to renew relationship. That existing relationship is still there. And that's why we are talking about no laws. Compare the president to look at the past administration, what areas they were doing well. Consolidate on it. That will reduce high cost of governance, and it will reduce this option traveling trips that we are complaining about.
All right, thank you so much.